just start by a couple of announcements of what's going on within the program. Then I'll let these two players talk, answer any questions you have, let these guys get ready for practice. Then I'll be more than happy to answer questions as well. But obviously, the season kind of starts on Thursday. It's 6:30 p.m. when we have a game against UTEP here at the USA. It's for a great cause. All the money raised for this game will go to the Santa Fe Strong charity. We've got a lot of friends and family from that area. It was obviously a huge tragedy, so if we can help in any small way, try to raise some real money that can help the people down there that are still in need. This game is not a part of the season ticket package. This is basically NCAA rules plus the fact that we're trying to raise the money. So we just ask our season ticket holders and all our fans once again to help us out. $10. It's my understanding it'll be all general admission. Every single dollar of that will go towards the Santa Fe Strong Fund. This game is free for students. There's been a little bit of confusion this week on that, so if each of you can help us get that word out, I'd greatly appreciate it. Free for students. The game's at 6:30. I think we've got food for the first 500 students that are there or so. Students will still have a chance to donate money if they choose to, and then we're going to get a head count for the students that came to the game, and then myself personally and some of my friends will then pay the $10 per student to the charity, so we make sure that we support the cause. But we do want to make sure that our students know that it's free at 6:30. First chance to see the team play against a really good UTEP team, a team projected to have a good season that'll have, some really good players. The idea is for us to return that game next year. We'll play the same type game in El Paso. Other than that, we've got the 3-game homestand to start the season. Our season opens up 1 week from today, Tuesday. We'll play Tuesday, Friday, and the next Tuesday. Again, just spreading the word that it's free for students to come to our games as always. On opening night, November 6th against Incarnate Word, we're going to unveil the Elite 8 banner from last year and have all sorts of giveaways for the fans and students. Another thing that's really important to me that I'm personally excited about and appreciate the administration backing me on this. There's a lot of work that's gone into this, but if you can please help spread the word on this. We have an all-time high season tickets sold for this season, approaching 7,000 seats. I'm so appreciative of that, everybody that spends their money to support our program, but now we go the extra step and really just trying to educate people how important it is for people to actually fill those 7,000 seats. So I understand it's impossible for all season ticket holders to come to every game. You've got other obligations, families, kids, things pop up. But what we're asking is our season ticket holders to please take that little extra effort and actually give your tickets to people on game night if you can't come to the game, and make sure your seats are filled. We're going to track this as the season goes on, seeing that your tickets are scanned and actually looking at the seats, making sure people are in the seats. At the end of the season, at our very last home game, which will be senior night, if your seats have been filled 90% of the time as a season ticket holder, you're going to get a very special gift courtesy of our program to you. I promise you it's not going to be a pennant or a coffee gift certificate. It's going to be something very nice. Kirby Hocutt himself has told me confidently that this will be a gift that everyone likes. If you don't like the gift at the end of the year, come see me personally and I'll get you another gift, whatever you want. But basically, we're just trying to make sure that 7,000 season tickets are filled every single night. And the best way I know to do that is just to ask people personally to please take the extra time and effort to give your tickets to people on the nights that you can't come. So we're really excited about that. That program will start next Tuesday when the season opens, November 6th, against Incarnate Word. Thanks for giving me the time to make those announcements. Questions for the players?
Matt, I guess with all the practices that you guys have gone through, is it nice to kind of go against someone that doesn't have your jersey?
Yeah, usually about this time of the year, you're real tired of playing against your own team. You're just ready to play somebody else, beat up on somebody else. So it's going to be nice to get the season started.
From your perspective, what are you kind of expecting from an exhibition game? What are you hoping to get out of it personally and then from a team perspective?
Well, we're trying to win, obviously, but then just trying to learn and trying to get better each game. We had a scrimmage against Houston, so trying to clean up some things after watching the tape against Houston will be nice.
Jared, same thing, I guess, just what's it like to finally kind of get the season started, so to speak, with an exhibition before you kind of obviously get the real season started, so to speak?
It's exciting, just all the work you put in over the summer and just growing as a team, just to come out, get the season started, see where we're at as a team, and just continue to grow.
For you personally, what are you looking forward to in that first exhibition game to kind of either get out the rust or I guess some other things?
Just be the best team player I could be. Just try to be a leader out there and just be the best player I could be.
I guess what have you kind of seen from UTEP? Obviously, a lot of mixture of young and old guys, but they certainly had a pretty good at least season projection going into the season.
We really haven't went over UTEP yet, but we're going to get on it soon.
Matt, for you, I know you haven't hit the court yet, but Coach talking about the season tickets already 7,000. What does that kind of say to you about this fan base here?
Yeah, I didn't know there was 7,000 season tickets. It's pretty exciting, especially coming from a school where we didn't have as many fans and as big of a arena, as big of a fan base. So it's gonna be really fun to play in front of this home crowd. I've heard a lot of good things.
Jared, kind of same question for you. You had the support kind of build last year. Now it's making the transition into this year without even playing a game yet. How do you think about the fan support?
The support last year was amazing, and this year I feel like it's only going to get better. So just everybody coming out to support us and us doing the best that we can is just going to be awesome.
And for you personally, I saw some stats from JJ the other night. Can you talk about your brother and your relationship with your family?
Yeah, I'm real close to my brothers. I got to see him play last night, so it was awesome to go out there. He had a pretty good game, so I just love supporting my family.
Jarrett, this time a year ago, as you were getting ready to enter in your freshman season, maybe didn't quite know what to expect from the year, but now that you've got 1 year under your belt, how have you changed the way that you're approaching the start of the season?
Just more of a leader mindset. Last year, there was a lot of guys ahead of me and a lot of guys with more experience, so just following them. But now I know that what's going to go on, and being a leader now, just trying to be the best I could be in that area.
Would you describe yourself as someone who's a vocal leader?
Yes, I would.
I guess I'll start with you, Jared. How has the last couple of weeks been with practice and getting all these new guys acclimated for you and for this team? How's everything been going?
It's been very intense. Just learning more about our team every day, and we take one day at a time, just try to get better and work on us as a team. So every day we're just trying to get better.
How has adjusting into a leadership role been really going for you? Last year, coming in as a freshman, one of the new guys, and now just all those guys that left, you're one of the only players from the last year's team going into a leadership role. How has that transition been for you?
Credit to the guys last year. They were great leaders and great people to follow. And then we got 4 seniors this year that's been leading us great. So just trying to bind in, combine with them, just being the best I could be, just being a leader in that area.
I guess, Matt, the same question for you. How has everything been going for you, getting acclimated these last couple of weeks, getting ready to play someone again that's not yourselves in practice?
Yeah, like I said, it's exciting. It's the best time of the year. Season starting, and we're just you get tired of just playing against the same guys every day, beating up on your teammates. So it's fun to play somebody else.
I think it's been since October 9th since we've seen you guys. Has there been a lot of growth in this past month as the season's been about to get started?
Yeah, I think we've been getting better every day. Coach talks about how practice is sacred. You can't, let one practice go to waste, and I think that we do a good job here of valuing each practice and getting better every day.
Jarrett, with last year, obviously it's been a little bit since then, but has it seemed like the offseason's gone by pretty quick and you've been anxious to get to these first real games, or has it been just like a normal offseason for you?
It's been normal, but the normal thing is off-season usually go by fast. You're usually excited for the games to come, and you look up and you're already scrimmaging, playing games. So, it's pretty exciting, and it has gone by fast.
What do you think about Coach Riley's Halloween costumes this week?
He came in with 2 outfits the last 2 days, so it just gave us a lot of energy in the weight room. We still got our work in, but his outfits pretty funny if you've seen them. So just him coming in with that had a lot of energy and fun with it.
But on a more serious note, he posts those transformation pictures, and it's incredible what he's been able to do with a lot of you guys in a short amount of time, especially when you look at someone like Tariq, who's already increased his vertical after just a few short months. How much of a difference does he make to what you guys are doing in the weight room, and how well that's translating on the court?
He makes a huge impact on every single individual. He takes his time, see what everybody needs. So, just his impact on us is he takes his time with us, and if you've seen us develop a lot, it's just crazy what he does, and he's one of the best in the country at what he does.
Matt, what's your perspective on that too, having just been to another program, and what do you think that Coach Riley brings to what you guys are doing here?
Yeah, so obviously it's my third program, but he's the best at what he does. Coach talks about he's the best strength coach in the country. I'd have to agree with that. He's constantly learning. I ask him a lot of questions because I'm interested in like strength and conditioning and how to, I don't know, be in the best possible shape, like stuff like that. I ask him a lot of questions, and he always got an answer for me. He's very smart. He knows what he's doing. He's really good.
Hey, Jared, I know you already talked about off the court, how you stepped up in leadership, but on the court, what did you work on the most in the offseason, and what can fans expect to see improved in your game this year?
Just being more vocal and being more of a leader, and just on the defensive side, just getting my team going and just playing as hard as I can every night and let the team follow that.
And then, Matt, you mentioned the secret scrimmage or whatever against Houston. How was it like playing with your new team against another opponent for the first time?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We definitely have a lot of things to improve on, but there were some good flashes, and we got a lot of weapons and a lot of guys that can make plays.
And then do you see kind of like your role coming to fruition now, like I said, playing against somebody else on the team? Do you see kind of like your role materialize on the team?
Yeah, I mean, I've been here all summer and, throughout this whole beginning of practice, and I think, my role will continue to develop and grow a little bit as the first couple games go on, but I'm pretty confident and comfortable in my role right now.
What would you say that is right now going into the season?
Being a playmaker, being active on D, got to get other guys involved, but also being able to score it. And I don't know, I think just bringing in some more scoring and getting other guys involved because I got a lot of players that can make plays.
Let's go one more question for these guys and let them get ready for practice.
This offseason, you've been in a couple of places. Has this offseason at Texas Tech been any different than the other places you've been at, and if so, how?
Yeah, I think it's been a lot different. I mean, this is the only school I've been to where, the off season, it's more intense, I would say. A lot more hands-on. Get a lot more work. Like every player here is in the gym all the time, and that's different than the other schools I've been to.
Coach, talking about that scrimmage, what did you see from your team and some kind of early lookout for them so we could see on Thursday?
Yeah, I thought Matt verbalized it well. We're definitely a work in progress. All sorts of things we need to work on, but I don't think we're any different than any other team in the country. But we did show some flashes of who we could be. So, as you guys know, about half our team is returners, but every returner's role has changed. Simply stated, everybody's got to be better. And then half our team is newcomers, and we're relying on a lot of these guys like Matt to play impact roles from day one. So we're a work in progress, but it was great to play against Houston. Coach Sampson, in my mind, is a Hall of Fame type coach. He's coached, won wherever he's been, has an NBA experience. He won this league, the Big 12, a couple times at Oklahoma. And so it's just a great scrimmage for us. Couldn't have picked a better game because you're playing against one of the hardest teams in the country and one of the best coaches. So it was a great afternoon for us.
You talk about Norrance and how he's kind of been throughout this offseason. I know you really look up to him as a player on the court and on the team. How's he kind of taken over a leadership role, if he has?
Yeah, Norrance has done well. First of all, non-basketball, just leadership, locker room, daily work ethic. Norrance leads in two ways. One, he leads by example. The guy takes care of his craft every day. He works hard. Nobody outworks him. He's disciplined. He does what he's supposed to do. So first way of leadership is guys, exhibiting what we're supposed to do. Then the second thing is he's one of our better players, and so he leads in a lot of different ways. He's got the toughness to say tough things sometimes. He's got pretty thick skin. He doesn't mind getting on teammates. And so, he's a big part of this year's team.
Hey, Coach, going into the season, what would you say the team's strength is, and what are you looking to work on the most as the team evolves?
Yeah, I think, again, we're a work in progress. I think that we got to, our defense is going to have to carry us early. And really all season long. That's no secret. We got to be one of the best defensive teams in our conference, which will translate to us being one of the best defensive teams in college basketball. We got that done last year in a lot of ways. I think Coach Wright and Villanova said we might have been the best defensive team they faced all year. It's a huge compliment from somebody I have a lot of respect for. This year, no different. We'll be a different defensive team. We still got some length and athleticism, but obviously with guys like Z and Zach not being here, Justin Gray, our team will have to be different, but the outcome needs to be the same. We need to be sound defensively. Offensively, I think we have a chance to have great balance. I think we're a team that could have 4 or 5 guys in double figures every night, and it might be different people. But we're a work in progress, but I'm starting to see kind of the DNA, some things that might be our identity, and defense is on the top of that list.
Who would you say are some of the, and I know it's a team game, of course, but who are some of those individual defensive catalysts you're looking at?
Yeah, well, it starts with those 4 seniors. You know, Brandon Francis, he has the strength and size to guard different people. I've always thought he should be one of our best defensive players because he's tough and he can guard different people with his size and athleticism. Norrance, we just talked about, to me, is one of the most physical, strongest guys in the Big 12. He's had some big games, just trying to help Norrance find a consistency where we can count on it every single night. Tariq's got a 3-year body of work of Division I basketball. It speaks for itself. He's one of the best shot blockers in all college basketball. Who was the last senior, Wes? You paying attention back there? Yeah, good job, Wes. Matt's a good defender. You know, some people might kind of stereotype him for whatever reason, but the guy's got long arms. He tests out on the NBA testing and stuff. He's got long arms. He's a good athlete. He's strong. So those 4 seniors, that's really where our defense has to start. Then, of course, we have some other weapons, too. Culver with his length and experience. And I think every guy on our team has a role defensively.
How big has Coach Adams been in that regard, the fact him coming back with the program?
Yeah, you know, I got to be careful complimenting Coach too much because his head will get too big. He'll start playing tennis in the mornings, lunch hour, and night if he thinks I'm too high on him. But, no, I've said it before, and it is what it is. Coach Adams is the best defensive coach I've ever known, and I've worked for some pretty good ones. Including one guy that might be the best coach in the history of the game. But Coach Adams, his teams have always guarded at a high level, and they've always won. Whether you go back to small college or junior college, the Division I level. At Little Rock, we had one of the best defenses in the country. That was Coach Adams. And last year, our defense really led us to a great run in the NCAA tournament. So, you know, he's a teacher. He's a motivator. You know, he's just one of the best defensive coaches that I know. We're fortunate to have him here.
Coach, in these early games, obviously it's an evolving thing throughout the season about who starts, how the rotations go, but are there specific guys you're looking at how you want to use them here early on, or how does that process work?
Yeah, absolutely. We, you know, in my mind right now, probably have about 8 players that are kind of have solidified themselves in the mix. You know, I know they're going to play in that first 3-game homestand. Probably 5 of those 8 are starters, depending on how things pan out. Also really going to try to have a 6-man this year with some value. Every team we've ever had, one of our best players, sometimes our best player, has been our 6-man. It's something I really, really believe in. Last year we got that done, whether it was Z early. Brandon Francis did a great job in that role. Naeem Stevenson had a great senior year. 10 points a game in the Big 12 speaks for itself. So I look for one of our best players to be our 6-man this year early too. Then we're just trying to find that 9th and 10th guy. And we've got great competition in practice right now. Thursday against UTEP will be another, you know, opportunity for these guys to show what they can do.
How have the freshmen been looking, guys like Kyler and Josh and all those guys? Have they been solid?
Yeah, I like this class. Basically our second class of freshmen. Last year's class, you know, produced an NBA player, a guy that's one of the better players in the Big 12. And I think Morrow really helped us and is ready to take the next step. And then Malik's going to be special one day. I believe that. And so this year's class, you know, we like these guys. Kyler Edwards is going to play early in his career. He's earned that. I think the quicker he can find a consistent level, the better season he's going to have and ultimately help our team. But he's a guy I have a lot of confidence in. Josh Mballas gives us some depth in our front court right now. And he's going to play minutes. You know, he did a good job the other day in that scrimmage, and we continue to see what he is and what he can be down the road. Then Kayvon is just continuing to rehab. You know, this guy is really, really good. And he's just had a big-time injury his senior year in high school. He's continuing to work back. Kayvon will not play in the game on Thursday against UTEP, but he's doing a great job in the training room and the weight room. We're just getting him to where he needs to be. But he is a huge part of our plan this season and as well as the future.
Do you think these young guys have been playing with a big chip on their shoulder, trying to establish themselves in this program?
Yeah, I hope so. You know, Coach Sampson talked to our team Saturday morning after we scrimmaged, and that was his deal. It's like, don't ever lose your chip. I loved it, man. I put it in my phone immediately, and we're getting a poster made. How's that coming, Wes? You get that poster made yet? Yeah. I mean, ultimately, that's what competitors are. You know, like, doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. You got to have a chip on your shoulder. You got to be constantly trying to prove people wrong and prove yourself right and validate yesterday's success, overcome yesterday's failure. And I think I've seen a little of that. I think our team's so competitive with our seniors and our upperclassmen. These young guys are just trying to find out where they belong. But there's definitely some competitiveness in our program that I like.
Coach, can you talk about how this charity game came about?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the NCAA's always had the rule where you can have 2 closed-door scrimmages, or you can play exhibition games, but exhibition games can't be against Division I opponents. So this gives us a unique opportunity. We can play in front of our fans. We can play a Division I opponent, but we can also do a great cause for something that really needs help. So with Santa Fe, this obviously hit us all strong. You know, I just never forget seeing it firsthand. And I've been down there quite a bit. My first year in coaching, when I was in Incarnate Word, actually, I recruited, went down there to Santa Fe, and Cliff Owens was playing at that time. Cliff ended up playing here at Tech for Coach Dickey and was a great 4-year player. So I've been to Santa Fe before. I know people from that area, so when it hit, it really hit home. This game gives us the opportunity to hopefully raise some real money for the people still in need there. So, again, super appreciative of anybody in advance that comes to the game, pays the $10. All that money will go directly. Not a lot of fluff, man. The money's going down there straight to the people who need it. Again, game's free for students, but we'll do a head count on students there. And then myself personally, with some close friends of mine, we'll make sure that we match that $10 for the students that come.
Red Raider great Andre Emmett's coming back to town. Just killed it in the Big 3. Just talk about what he means to the Red Raider program.
Yeah, Dre's special. I mean, simply stated, first with the basketball, he's maybe the best scorer in the history of the Big 12. I mean, the guy was a walking basket. It's made coaching pretty easy. Just give him the ball and he scores. You know, a 3-time All Big 12 first player and All-American. The last guy to get drafted to the NBA before Z did a couple months ago. Just a special player. And I think those of us at Tech kind of remember that. But, I mean, you know, I always kind of remind people how good he was. Like, literally the best player in the Big 12, I thought. Then the thing that maybe people don't know about Dre is what kind of person he was. Like, reflecting back in the last couple of weeks, doing some interviews for Dre's induction, just a lot of great memories. It was always popular in the locker room. He always treated the student manager just like he treated the head coach. I mean, he's just a guy that kind of got it. And so we're looking forward to him getting back in the fold. You know, he's been playing professionally, never taking a break. I think he told me the other day he's going to try to play maybe even another year. But at some point when he finally retires, which might be 50, with Andre, we're looking forward to getting back in the fold where he's in Lubbock more often and things like that. But just a great player, not good, great, one of the all-time greats in this league and an even better person.
Coach, I know we all wanted another year of Zaire, but with his success and doing what he's done and moving on, what did that do for your program with Zaire getting drafted?
Yeah, you know, I tell the players when we recruit you, we want to win championships. We want you to become the best player you can become. We want you to get your degree, and then we ultimately want you to get your dream job. For some of our guys, that's law school or being a teacher, coach, business. But for most of our players at this level, especially our best players like Z, these guys want to play in the NBA. So for that to happen year one, there was no more happy than us internally. Of course, I would have liked to coach Z another year, but there's no way. I mean, I wouldn't have let him come back if he wanted to. When you can be a first-round pick like that, borderline lottery, it's what he needed to do. But that's not the end of the Zaire story. I mean, I think you would have to ask some of the players on our team. I think Matt Mooney and Tariq and these guys, I think they chose Tech because they saw what Z was able to do in our program. So then he just continues to be a guy that we talk to almost every day. You know, I think he talks to Malik and Culver about daily. I touch with him from time to time. Open invitation for Z. We're hoping at NBA All-Star Weekend, if those guys aren't participating in the games, that Z and Keenan and Zach and these guys come back to Lubbock. But no, Zaire made a huge impact on our program and is going to even make a bigger impact as the year go on because I predict he's going to be a really good NBA player.
Well, you talked about Kayvon Moore's leg injury. How is he doing in his rehab progress? Do you think he'll be ready for the regular season next week, or are you still being cautious?
Yeah, I'm not sure on the timetable, but it's just a work in progress. But everything's going well. The surgery was a success this summer. Kayvon came to summer school, made good grades in both sessions, and then basically just started kind of working the rust off. The bone is healed. Now it's just a matter of like getting his feel back, really working the relationship between work and rest. As much as I want Kayvon to help us win our first game or 10th game or 15th game, I'm much more concerned about his future in basketball. This is a guy that should play after college. So we're just making smart decisions with Chris Williams, the trainer, Dr. Crawford, and just we're all on the same page here. So, but Kayvon's doing everything he can every day, and I have a lot of confidence that he's going to be one of the best players in the Big 12 at some point.
Hey, Coach, to follow up on Hax's question about Zaire, you mentioned Mooney and Tariq, that being part of why they came here. Do you hear that from recruits a lot as well about y'all hit Zaire's success and rapid success here to the NBA?
Yeah, but not just with Z. I mean, Keenan becoming an All-American, Zach having a chance to be an NBA player even after an injury that kept him off the court most of the season. Justin Gray's doing great right now in Europe, like basically MVP, all-conference type season. So all those seniors, we study their past and we stay in touch with them, and we're just so appreciative of everything they did for us, as well as the first year's team. It was great having Aaron Ross and Devin back a couple weeks ago. So, absolutely in recruiting, that's why, you're telling guys what the program is about and what the program can do for you and why you should come to Tech, but it's a whole other thing to show people this is exactly what happened. That's why I'll always be appreciative of guys like Culver and Z that basically jumped on board with us before we had made an NCAA tournament, before we made an Elite Eight, before we had a first-round draft choice. So there's always, as a coach, there's always a special relationship you have with those first guys that jump on board. But, yeah, our past players are some of our best recruiters.
Any other questions?
Thank you.